Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Erica Cranmer, and this is Boomy. On my channel, we learn about God. We are currently reading through Matthew. We are on chapter 13, and sometimes you get a little bit of my life. And currently, my life is crazy. We are moving in with my mother because, well, life is crazy. And my mother and I and my husband talked about moving in together. Well, Boomy abandoned us. And I'm knocking over my camera, and I did not mean to do that. Boomy will just have to adjust. But we talked about moving in together for years. Oops, sorry about hitting the microphone. And the timing was just kind of unexpectedly perfect. And I guess Xander's going to be a nuisance because Amazon was just delivered. And my couch is a mess because, oh, sorry, Boomy. Xander digs a hole right there. And I think I'm just not going to apologize for the mess that my life is right now because my house is half packed, half unpacked. We're doing stuff at my mom's house and we're doing stuff here. And I feel like I look like a mess. I was like, today I'm not going to record anything. I'll just wait till tomorrow and I'll record twice. And then I was like, well, I don't know what to do with my packing. I'm overwhelmed. So great time to record something, right? Take a break from packing. I was like, Boomy could do my introduction today. But instead you just got a huge shot of my awkward body coming through like a mess. But I think that's like my theme. What is that over there? Is that my haul? Looks like a reflection of something. Oh, it is. It's my trash can. Because, okay, if you haven't in a while, and I like to think I'm like neat and organized. Apparently, I have like hidden little stashes of trash that I didn't even know existed. Like, I was cleaning out my cabinet in my bathroom. Let's see if I can. Right there. Yes, we have a baby gate on the bathroom. Okay, so my bathroom cabinet, which I don't know if we can see it. Nope. Okay. But I was cleaning out my bathroom cabinet, which I never drink. Those wine bottles are dusty, so I thought. But I was cleaning out that bathroom cabinet, and like I found hair masks that I bought years ago that apparently I'd never used, and I found some bandages from when my husband had surgery years ago that were left over that were just sitting in there. And that's my Spanish learning material on the wall because, you know, wash your hands to learn about washing your hands in Spanish. Um, just, you know, no, like it's amazing the things that you're like, wow, this is left over. And apparently I've never used it. Like it was like one bandage and like 3 rolls of tape left over and just they're left over in there. And apparently I probably should have thrown it away, but I guess I thought like, oh, hey, what if someone has a major cut? This Telfa would be perfect. And the tape probably isn't even sticky anymore. I gotta check. But I guess my big thing is like I will not be a hoarder. My grandmother was a hoarder. Like her house literally could have been on the show Hoarders. And I have hoarding tendencies, but it's more with like stockpiling supplies. Like I have like there's just 2 of us, but I buy like toilet paper in bulk. I buy like my body wash. There's two of us, but like I have like 15 body washes. I have like 8 things of floss. And I always make sure I buy it before I run out. And I never buy 2, I buy like 5. So like I don't like that kind of stuff. Like I stockpile that kind of stuff. Like normally like regular possessions I'm fine with getting rid of. Clothing I'm now fine with getting rid of, but previously I would not get rid of clothes even if they didn't fit. But now I'm fine with it. It took me a long time to come to terms with that. But like I know I have tendencies to do that. I don't know if it's like a learned behavior or a genetic thing, but like I guess hoarding is like attaching emotional memories to physical items is what like I've learned over the years. So anyways, enough about me, my little 6-minute intro. I try not to talk about me in the beginning, but I guess I talk about me and my life in the beginning, and then I give you your Bible lesson and we talk about it at the end. I guess that's what this is. But well, I guess like I said before, we're gonna go through the whole Bible. And then sorry I keep burping, I just ate. We're gonna go through the whole Bible, and then we're gonna do like a more in-depth study, and then we will do an even more in-depth study. Life's a little crazy right now. I'm glad I didn't start with a super in-depth study, because I would figure it out. I would keep my commitment. All right, anyways, chapter 13. Let's see if this is a really long one too. I should just know this. It is 58 verses. All right. So it starts with a heart. Oh, we got to pray. All right. Dear Lord in heaven, thank you so much we could all be here today. Thank you for providing us with the time to do this, and please help us to gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from what we learn. Please help us to absorb your word, and just please help everyone out with what they need today. Thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, a harvest story. At about the same time Jesus left the house and sat on the bench. In no time at all, a crowd gathered along the shoreline, forcing him to get into a boat. Using the boat as a pulpit, he addressed his congregation, telling stories. What do you make of this? A farmer planted seeds. As he scattered the seeds, some of it fell on the road. Birds ate it. Some fell in the gravel. It sprouted quickly, but did not put down roots. So when the sun came up, it withered just as quickly. Some fell in the weeds. As it came up, it was strangled by weeds. Some fell on good earth and produced a harvest beyond his wildest dreams. Are you listening to this? Really listening? Why tell stories? His disciples came up and asked, Why do you tell stories? He replied, You've been given insight into God's kingdom. You know how it works. Not everybody has this gift, this insight. It hasn't been given to them. Whenever someone has ready a heart for this, the insight and understanding flow freely. But if there is no readiness, any trace of receptivity soon disappears. That's why I tell stories, to create readiness, to nudge these people towards a welcome awakening. In their present state, they can stare till doomsday and not see it. Listen till they're blue in the face and not get it. I don't want Isaiah's forecast repeated all over again. Your ears are open, but you don't hear a thing. Your eyes are awake, but you don't see a thing. The people are stupid. They stick their fingers in their ears so they won't have to listen. They screw their eyes shut so they won't have to look. So they won't have to deal with me face to face. Let me heal them. But you have God-blessed ears, eyes that see, and I read that wrong. But you have God-blessed eyes that see, and God-blessed ears, ears that hear. A lot of people, prophets and humble believers among them, would have given anything to see what you were seeing, to hear what you were hearing, but never had the chance. The meaning of harvest story. Study the story of the farmer planting seed. When anyone hears news of the kingdom and doesn't take it in, it just remains on the surface, and so the evil one comes along and plucks it right out of the person's heart. This is the seed the farmer scattered on the road. The seed cast in the gravel, this is the person who hears and instantly responds with enthusiasm. But there is no soil of character, and so when the emotions wear off and some difficulties arrive, there is nothing to show for it. The seeds cast in the weeds is the person who hears the kingdom news, but weeds of worry and illusion about getting more and wanting everything under the sun strangle what was heard, and nothing comes of it. The seeds cast on good earth is the person who hears and takes the news and then produces a harvest beyond his wildest dreams. Readjusting my book, sorry. He told him, I'm going to grab a drink real quick actually before I continue. He told another story. God's kingdom is like a farmer who planted good seed in his field. That night, while his hired men were asleep, his enemies sowed thistles all through the wheat and slipped away before dawn. When the first green shoots appeared and the grain began to form, the thistles showed up too. His farm hands came to the farmer and said, "Master, that was clean seed you planted. What's this? Where did these thistles come from?" He answered, "Some enemy did this." The farm hands asked, "Should we weed out the thistles?" He said, "No. If you weed the thistles, you'll pull up the wheat too. Let them grow together until harvest time. When I instruct the harvesters to pull up the thistles and tie them in the bundles for the fire, then gather the wheat and put it in the barn." Another story. God's kingdom is like an acorn that a farmer plants. It is quite small as seeds go, but in the course of years it grows into a huge oak tree, and eagles build their nests in it. Another story. God's kingdom is like yeast that a woman works into dough for a dozen loaves of breads. I can't talk. Another story. God's kingdom is like yeast that a woman works into dough for a dozen loaves of barley bread and waits while the dough rises. All Jesus did that day was tell stories. A long storytelling afternoon. His storytelling fulfilled the prophecy. I will open my mouth and tell stories. I will bring out into the open things hidden since the world's first day. The curtain of history. Jesus dismissed the congregation and went into the house. His disciples came in and said, "Explain to us the story of the thistles in the field." Oops, sorry. So he explained, "The farmer who sows the pure seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The pure seeds are the subjects of the kingdom. The thistles are the subjects of the devil, and the enemy who sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, the curtain of history. The harvest hands are the angels. The picture of thistles pulled up and burned is a scene from the final act. The Son of Man will send his angels, weed out the thistles from the kingdom, pitch them in the trash, and be done with them. They are going to complain to the high heaven, but nobody is going to listen. At the same time, ripe, holy lives will mature and adorn the kingdom of their Father. Are you listening to this? Really listening? God's kingdom is like a treasure hidden in a field for years and then accidentally found by a trespasser. The finder is ecstatic, "What a find!" and proceeds to sell everything he owns to raise money and buy that field. Or, God's kingdom is like a jewel a jewel merchant on the hunt for exquisite pearls. Finding one that is flawless, he immediately sells everything and buys it. Or, God's kingdom is like a fish net cast into the sea, catching all kinds of fish. When it is full, it is hauled onto the beach. The good fish are picked out and put into a tub. Those unfit to eat are thrown away. That's how it will be when the curtain comes down on history. The angels will come and cull the bad fish and throw them in the garbage. There will be a lot of desperate complaining, but it won't do any good. Jesus asked, "Are you starting to get a handle on all this?" They answered yes. He said, "When you see how every student well trained in God's kingdom is like the owner of a general store, who can put his hands on anything you need, old or new, exactly when you need it." When Jesus finished telling these stories, he left there, returned to his hometown, and gave a lecture in the meeting house. He stole the show, impressing everyone. "We had no idea he was this good," they said. "How did he get so wise, get such ability?" But in the next breath, they were cutting him down. "We've known him since he was a kid. He's the carpenter's son. We know his mother Mary. We know his brothers, James and Joseph, Simon and Judas. All his sisters live here. Who does he think he is?" They got all bent out of shape. But Jesus said, "A prophet is taken for granted in his hometown and his family. He didn't do many miracles there because of their hostile indifference." Right, that's chapter 13. So, what things stood out to you? Things that stood out to me. He told a lot of stories to the people. Parables, stories. And he said, "That's why I tell stories, to create readiness, to nudge the people toward a welcoming awakening, to a welcome awakening. Um, in their present state, they can stare till doomsday and not see it, listen till they're blue in the face and not get it. But the stories were to just kind of gently nudge and get in there and, listen to the story, hear it, listen, learn." I don't know. Because all the stories, they all had the same exact, kind of message going on. And I like that he didn't even though he didn't explain the in-depth meaning of them in the generalized crowd of people, he did explain them to his disciples whenever they asked him when they were again alone in private. So I don't know, that's what stood out to me. Also, he said that a prophet is taken for granted in his hometown where he's known. So that's what stood out to me today. That's what got me. Put in the comments what got you. Also, I don't know why this made me think of this. Whenever my little wine bottles and my little wine rack thing, I'm not judging anyone who does drink. I don't know, sometime over the past year, oddly enough, per conversation with my hairstylist, who told me about how she stopped drinking, I kind of decided to stop drinking myself. She was telling me about how, whenever she's actually younger than me, probably at least a good 15 years younger than me. Sounds about right. And she was saying that like myself, she comes from a family of alcoholics and addicts. My dad, my uncles had alcohol issues, at least on the one side. And she was saying that she realized that even though she didn't drink frequently like myself, I might have alcohol on vacation or once New Year's or my anniversary, that she realized that like um it was never like one drink or like two drinks, it was like a lot more. And I was like, that sounds familiar. And she was saying that she didn't like how she felt the next day. And I was like, that also sounds familiar. And that like she just realized that like that wasn't really like a healthy relationship with alcohol. And I was like, you know what, that's very true. And I thought to myself, as she was saying all this, she was like, that's a problem. She was explaining that she felt that that was a problematic relationship with alcohol. And I was like, that's actually very true. So this girl who's younger than me was explaining that she decided to 100% give up alcohol because her family has a history of alcoholism, like mine, and that she was literally stating this is a dysfunctional relationship with alcohol, even though she might only have alcohol one or two times a year. And I was like, this is literally, I only have alcohol on like my anniversary, New Year's, you know, one or two times, one or five times a year, one or three times a year, really. And she was like, it's a dysfunctional relationship with alcohol. So I just decided to give it up because I don't like how I feel after. And I literally always drink until I'm drunk. And I was like, I think that I probably should do the same thing. So even though like I have like probably like, I don't know how many bottles of alcohol in my house. Well, it's wine. I was like, well, maybe I should do the same thing. So probably for the past year, I think that when I went on vacation, I may have had a few margaritas. But I've been really thinking about complete. My husband hasn't had any alcohol since 2016, whenever he had chemo, and it created a complication with his pancreas, and he can't have it anymore. And I have other people in my family that I love that don't drink for various reasons. Um, but I was like, I've been, and also, like I said, there's a lot of people that I've loved and cared about in my life that also have had problems with substances. So I've been genuinely thinking that I'm probably going to join the crowd of people that I know that are just giving up alcohol. My husband thinks that I have a little bit of a harder time doing that because I don't really ever drink pop, and I normally drink water. And then, like, whenever we go out, that's normally my go-to as a non-pop flavored beverage. But also, I don't know. So, I don't know. So, I wasn't judging anyone who does or does not drink. I was just pointing out that I kind of probably as of like a few months ago have kind of given up alcohol, like a soft give up alcohol, because I haven't firmly committed to it because there's really, I don't know, I guess some people reading the Bible feel that it states that you shouldn't ever drink, but it really says not to get drunk on alcohol. But if you can't drink alcohol and well, I guess if you're drinking alcohol, you're not being sober. Then I'm like, well, if you're having like one itty bitty little, like half of a sip, like, but I can't do that, so I probably just shouldn't drink at home as I'm giving you my entire dialogue. But anyways, that's Erica's. I'm not judging you if you drink. I'm not judging if you don't drink. But I'm, I really feel like I'm just giving up alcohol because I feel like I have a problematic relationship with it, even though I, in fact, don't actually have a problem with it. If that makes any sense. Because I feel like the way I'm explaining it, it does not make any sense. I was trying to explain it to someone previously. Like, yes, I almost never drink, but then also when I do, I can't just have one glass. I don't know. So if that's also you, do you feel like you have a problematic relationship with it? Give me your comments on that, because I feel like that's a problematic relationship with it, but do you? All right. Leave me your comments on this chapter. Leave me your comments on your thoughts on what is or is not a problematic relationship with alcohol. And see you for chapter 14. And Boomy's sleeping, or he'd say bye too.